In today's video, I'm going to show you two different methods for steaming shrimp. I'm going to be doing the traditional East Coast style of steaming shrimp, and I'm also going to be doing what I'm calling a Cajun style steamed shrimp. Going to get started right after this.
If you wanna cook backyard barbecue till you get your feel, you come to the right place. Roast Jones Smoky Ribs. Smoky Ribs. Smoky
Oh man, it's some kind of hot down here in South Mississippi. We are having heat index of like 111 degrees. Humidity is just out of sight. So I found me a little shade on the side of the house, in between houses, and it's creating like a draft through here with wind, kind of like a breezeway. So I think we're going to set up here maybe a little bit more during the summer. Anyway, let me show you this brand new steamer I got in yesterday from Tunnel Tube. This thing is bad. Let me introduce you to Tunnel Tube's new consumer level steamer, but with the same technology underneath that the commercial pots have. Now if you'll take a look up here, this is the inside. This is a 28 quart capacity, which is equivalent to 7 gallons. And this is perfect for homes, backyard steaming. You can do shrimp, you can do crab legs, you can do crabs, you can do vegetables. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this. I'm going to start incorporating a lot of side dishes into some of my barbecues as well, utilizing this. The owner did some artichokes on his, and he was telling me just how good they turned out and how quick it happens. But anyway, this is what we're going to be using. And if you look under here, well, as we go down, it does have a valve to drain the water. That's always handy. Now take a look way up under here and check this out. It's got 5 individual burners that makes the fire go up, and then the fire turns 90 degrees both ways, and it runs through these tubes, and the heat exits it out here. And as he explained to me, it doesn't get really severely hot here unless you got it on full blast. Once you achieve a steam, of course, you can cut back on it. It's got a heat deflector here. This is your actual orifice. It's got 5 orifices down through here. Now this is where your gas hooks up. You can have these custom made to where this could be at the back or it can be at the front like mine is. And it's priced at consumer level too, man. This thing is really, really cool. So we're getting ready to go ahead and get started. I'm gonna see how this bad boy works. You'll get to see it right along with me. You might have noticed I had to chalk this up with some boards on the front end because this ground is running at a slope and the table I have this sitting on is running at a slope, and I want this to sit level. I just checked it. It's sitting dead level. So the first thing I'm adding in is I've got 3 beers. You can use whatever. It's just a cheap beer. I got 3 beers going in. And by the way, we're starting with the East Coast traditional style steamed shrimp. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to add in about the same amount of apple cider vinegar. All right, now from here, I'm just going to fill it up with water just below the grate. Now let's add in some water. And so you know, like I said earlier, this is a high-powered steamer, 200,000 BTU, and always make sure you got liquid in here. You know, if you're doing a long steam, like something that's going to steam for 30 minutes plus, you really need to keep an eye on this. Don't let it dry out, because if it does, you're going to burn this bad boy up. All right, I'm going to slice up some onions. We're going to create a bed for our shrimp to lay on. And we're fighting with flies again. That'll be going on all summer long. So I'm going to dump the onions right on top of the grate. And we're just going to spread them out to make an even layer. All right, I'm going to remove the grate. We're going to lay it over here on the cutting board, and we'll stack the shrimp on there and season those. But meantime, first thing I'm going to do is fire up this steamer and get it up to a nice head of steam. And we have ignition. We're going about 3/4 of the way open. That should be plenty. We'll actually cut back on it at some point. All right, so I bought 10 pounds of fresh Gulf shrimp, and I had them divided into 2 5-pound bags, one for each method. And we're just going to pour these shrimp on. Aren't they beautiful? Just going to spread these out on top of the onions. Make a nice layer. That's looking pretty good. Like I said, you want to try to keep it as a single layer if you can, because that's how you're going to ensure that you're getting plenty of seasoning on all of them. And the seasoning we're using for this East Coast version is strictly Old Bay. So on with the Old Bay. And that's coming out too slow. Let's do it like this. There we go. You want to put a good heavy coat because we're not doing the back sides. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I like going on a real heavy Old Bay coat. And keep in mind the shells under that. You're going to be tasting the seasoning mainly coming off your fingers when you peel the shrimp. And yes, I always steam or boil head on. It just adds more flavor in my opinion. As you can see, we got a good head of steam in here. Matter of fact, I just cut the gas down way down. It's only about 1/4 of the way now, as you can probably even hear this microphone. Word of caution, anytime you reach over to open this up, always make sure you open it from the back, because that steam will get you. Also, it's highly recommended that you wear gloves when doing this. We should be done in about 3 minutes. This is an amazing little steamer. I mean, this is doing a fantastic job. This took 3 minutes, and I'm looking at the color and I'm looking at the shape of the C shape of these shrimp. These appear to be perfectly cooked. And what I'm going to do now is just take them off of here to let them cool off for a minute. And I'm going to put them in a pot with a lid on it and just let them hang out until we get the other shrimp done. All right, we have the same water back up to a boil. We're not changing out the water. The beer and the vinegar in this is not going to hurt what we're doing next. And by the way, take a look at this right here. Very little heat coming out of that. And this fire comes up the middle and turns in both directions out of these tunnel tubes. That is amazing. I thought that was going to be like screaming hot right there to the point of being dangerous. No, look at that. There's definitely some heat if you're right there at it, but if you back off to here, you don't feel much of nothing. Amazing. I've got this thing at about half throttle on my gas. As you can see, we got a boil going on. So we're going to add a few things in here, and I'm going to start with garlic. I've got 6 heads of this garlic going in. Right now I've got about 2 pounds. This is called Swamp Fire. This is a seafood boil going in. I've got onions, 2 of them quartered. I've got some lemons, 3 to be exact. That's the other halves. All right, I'm gonna throw in about 4 bay leaves. In addition to the powder, I'm adding in this flow-through bag. This is made by Zatarans. It's extra spicy. And last but not least, I've got 8 ounces of a liquid made by Swamp Fire. This is a liquid crab boil. I'm getting ready to close the lid. We're just going to let that sit there and simmer. And what that's going to do is it's going to break down all the powders and dissolve them. Probably go about 10 minutes. Meantime, I'm going to get the shrimp for the tray here, and we're just going to be sitting on ready when they're done. Well, you know what? I forgot a really important part for Cajun style shrimp, and that's the addition of more cayenne. You've already got some cayenne inside of your pre-boil mixes. That should be plenty. We've got our other shrimp laid out in a layer, and to the steamer we go. Close the lid. Don't crank it up just a tad. 3 minutes. All right, I've just killed the fire Let me walk around to the back of this thing, or the side of it. Let's raise it up. Whew, look at the color, perfectly done. All right, I do not want them sitting over that hot water because they will continue to cook. I'm gonna remove them, put them back over here on the cutting board. Oh man, that smells good. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding in water to where it will cover the shrimp. It'll stir it up good. Now keep in mind, I allowed enough seasonings for 7 gallons. That's the capacity of this pot. So right now, it's really highly concentrated. So adding in this extra water is gonna get it just about perfect. Plus it's going to lower the temperature of the water to where the shrimp will no longer cook, but instead they will just soak up all this goodness.
132.
Okay.
133.
Gonna give all this one good final stir. All right, in we go. And they are completely covered. They're actually floating, which means they're above the grate. See if I push them down? So that's perfect. We're just gonna leave the lid open. We're gonna let these soak for around 20-25 minutes. And this is what I'm calling a Cajun steamed shrimp. We steamed them because that is a very good cooking method for shrimp, for the mere fact that they peel so easy. It's so easy to overcook shrimp doing a boil. I have shown you how to do that with good success, but it's hard to screw up with them steamed. And my first time using this, I think it's turned out pretty darn well. Actually, I think you could steam these in like 2.5 minutes, even that size. 3 minutes did good. They're still peeling good. These actually curled up a little bit more than what I'd like to see. Now that one's just about perfect. This one right here. That's really what you're wanting. Then you got one like this. He's a little overdone. But for the most part, they're looking about right. Yeah. So I'm thinking we did good. Man, I tell you what, I am loving this little steamer pot. This is actually perfect. I got some really huge pots and everything, but for what I do normally, like off camera, man, this is ideal. We're gonna be using this a lot. And I don't know if I explained that technology good enough, but you got them 5 burners up the middle, and what's happening is your heat's going up and it turns 90 degrees both ways and it comes out on the ends where the tunnel tubes are. And what that does is allow even cooking from one end to the other. The problem with most steamers is you got that center fire and you got a concentrated heat more in the center than you do on the sides. So this cures that problem. Love it, absolutely love it. And it's just that easy. 2 unique ways of steaming shrimp from 2 different locations. Both of them have really good flavors. I love the Old Bay flavor, and of course I love the Cajun flavors that I was raised around. So I'm gonna try one of the steamed shrimp first. Off with its head. Let's see how they peel. Seems to be peeling just like a champ. Just like that. That's what you want. I really caked that Old Bay on there. I tell you what, steaming them through the onions does something to them as well. Really good. That's not bad at all. It's better than the last steamed shrimp I did. And I think the onions was a trick on that. All right, let's try one of these. I want to call them boiled, but they're not boiled. It's going to taste like boiled. That's the thing. It's going to taste just like a boiled shrimp. But like I said earlier, steaming them, if you go the proper amount of time, you can't overcook them. You can't overcook them by steaming them as well. But the beauty of it is if you cook them perfect, then the peeling comes right off that like that. There it is. Cajun flavors. Like I said, this video wasn't a comparison video to say which one's better, because I like them both. I really do. On my last video, we agreed hands down that the boil beat the steam, but this new method using the onions and really piling on the Old Bay made a difference. I can't tell you how stoked I am over this little steamer, man. This thing is really awesome. I'm going to use this quite a bit. If you're interested in something like this for yourself in your backyard, for your family, then I'll have a link in the description box. It's perfect family size. It really is. And Y'all seen me, like I said earlier, y'all seen me steam in bigger pots and all that for bigger gatherings and such. But if you steam a lot of seafood, shellfish, and things like that, I know the East Coast is just known for it, and I know you guys will really, really enjoy this thing as well. So check it out. I'll have a link in the description box. I had intended on making some dipping sauces for this shrimp to show on camera, but I'm just going to do that off camera a little later. We're going to do a remoulade, a cocktail sauce, and going to do a Perrin's butter, like a compound butter melted. And those three would pair very well with the steamed shrimp or the boiled shrimp. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this gave you some ideas, and give it a try. Give both methods a try. I think you'll like both of them. I know we did. Until next time, smoke your ribs.